well done on that. First of all, just your feelings about the overall performance today, please.
It was a bit of an indifferent performance. I thought it started very well and then went off the boil a little bit. But then as the game grew on and the subs came on, we started to get a hold of it again, which was great. I thought the subs that came off the bench did a fantastic job in having an impact on the match.
Absolutely. It seemed like you started well. You had a lot of control and possession and territory in the first 25 minutes, but didn't create much and then just seemed to go off the boil there. Like, what was the message for the guys at half-time?
Just to be a little bit more patient. I thought the first 10-15 we were very patient with our play. We tried to draw Brisbane out, and then after the goal we sort of were very eager to get forward again and then started to give it away. So look, we've got to keep sticking to the plan, make sure that we're fully focused for the full 90 and that we display the same behaviours. It's something that we keep talking about to the players, is that we want the behaviours to remain and the behaviours to be continuous throughout the 90 minutes.
It seemed like it was pretty windy out there. What kind of impact did that have on the game?
Yeah, as you could tell, I think some of the guys' touches weren't always the best, and there was a bit of a swirl around the ground, but I think both teams did okay with it. It's a difficult one considering you're not sort of used to that sort of weather.
You've got to back up again pretty quickly. Obviously you've got these 3 games in a week there in Launceston. How do you approach the second match there? Do you look to kind of mix things up a little bit, selection-wise?
Look, I think we're going to have to review everyone and make sure that everyone is feeling 100% or as good as they can feel. It's going to be a tough ask for some of those guys to back it up. So we'll have to make a few changes to freshen up the lineup. But at the moment, there's quite a few guys that are performing from the bench. So, there's opportunities for them to be able to start games and play, which is fantastic. And then there's another short turnaround come Sunday again. So it's going to be a big week. And I think the whole squad is looking forward to playing as many games as possible.
I know there's always scrutiny and questions to you about Daniel Sturridge each week, and obviously he had another cameo off the bench today, but is it still too soon to talk about him starting or playing a full half of football yet?
I think he needs to, find his feet. I think he's still finding his feet, not only within the team, but within the league. The tempo and the transition element of the game in Australia is probably a little bit different than he's used to. So he's going to take some time to do that, but he's been fantastic. He's been fantastic around the place, and I think everyone, when he gets the ball, is anticipating something unbelievable. And I think in time those touches will turn into unbelievable passes and unbelievable goals.
And last one for me, in terms of Bruno, that touch of class for the second goal there, I guess you're not surprised by that, I would imagine.
No, fantastic to see Bruno score. But even more pleasing was to see him in the final minutes of the game run 50 metres to defend. And that is fantastic from a striker. I thought Andy Keogh did the same when he came on, was very, very good, not only in attack but in defence. And that's something that we keep preaching to our strikers, that we want to defend as a team and we want to attack as a team. So when you see your strikers doing that, it's very pleasing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If I can just ask, if you're not asking a question, if you can make sure that you need to, because you have a little bit of feedback there. Adam from the Examiner, you want to go next?
G'day Richard. I think most of the questions I was going to ask have been asked, but how did you find playing on Newcastle Stadium? The wind tends to swirl around here. We find that during the footy, but how did you find it out there today?
Yeah, I think the guys struggled with it at times. But look, it's something that they're going to have to adapt to quickly, because we've got another game on Wednesday and then another one on Sunday. So it is our home ground at the moment, and that's fantastic. And the guys have really embraced that at the moment. So that's something that we could possibly use to our advantage if we get used to it in time.
And just with obviously playing a lot of games in a week, is that a good thing for your club? players to sort of get those minutes under their belts for the rest of the season?
Look, I think their eagerness to actually play games is the biggest one. It's going to be testing on their bodies. It's definitely going to be testing on their bodies. But I think the whole league is in that scenario at the moment where there is a lot of games for a lot of clubs, and we're going to be the ones that actually have to do a lot of games back to back. So, we've got to be prepared for that. The players have got to be prepared for that. You just hope it doesn't take away from the quality of the games, and that's probably the biggest issue.
Cheers, Richard. That's
So,
Okay, Nick Taylor.
Yep, just a couple there, quick, Richie. I just had a quick look at the table, and as incredible as it sounds, you're now only 7 points of third place. And there's about 5 teams all on 18. It just shows how quickly this league's going to change with the games at hand you got, hopefully, for you.
yeah, I think it's something that you can't really pay a lot of attention to at the moment. The league table, with so many games coming up in a row, and it's sort of been a very even league this year. You see teams when they have 2 or 3 results, they pop up the table. So I think it's about really making sure that we keep chipping away at it, keep making sure our performances improve week by week, and keep getting the results we want. We want to win every game, and that's something that the guys have got in their head, that every game they approach, they actually want to win. So, look, we've just got to be fully focused on our performance and progressing as a team, and then come the end of the season, that's when we can have a look at the table.
And you just mentioned then, the games coming back to back don't affect the quality. I mean, that wasn't the best quality of game out there today, but I guess, as you say, you want to win, and you'll take a win, you'll take 3 points from a game like that.
Yeah, it's a sign of a decent team that actually win when they're not at their best. I thought we saw glimpses of some very good stuff, and I never really felt like the guys were out of control, but just the simple basics weren't at their best today, and that probably had to do a little bit with the new surface, new environment with the wind swirling and things like that. But at the same time, they know they need to improve that area of their game.
Yeah, you ask Aaron Calver's injury, is it a pinched nerve in the back? Or
He fell on his tailbone and didn't feel great after it, so we didn't want to take too many risks being in the area that it is. So we'll have to reassess it or assess it and figure out how he fits in the next couple of games.
Sure, and first time we've seen Sturridge, Bruno and Andy together as one in the same side. Something obviously the fans will be looking forward to. Are you going to try and use them more often that way?
Yeah, I think they combine very well together, and they've got to find rhythm, and they've got to gel with each other. The more they play, the more they're going to figure out how to play with each other, and that's going to be an exciting one when that eventually does happen.
Yep, hello, thanks mate, speak to you next week.
Thanks, mate.
Any further questions for Richie? No, in that case, Rich, I think you are free to go.
Thanks, everyone. Have a nice evening.